Hi, Scott here again with video number 2 in the series for landlords who are thinking of switching from buy-to-let to serviced accommodation. Video 1 we covered the advantages, this one we are going to cover the disadvantages, because it's a really sexy industry to be in as serviced accommodation, lots of people jumping over, and there's lots of press and courses and good PR out there from people that have done it successfully and are making lots of more money, but you don't always hear from the people who aren't making a success of it or that have had failures in it. So I want to be really honest with everyone and tell them some of the disadvantages. The main one for landlords switching from buy-to-let, if you rent your property for £800 a month, you're getting £800 a month, give or take some rent arrears and some voids, you know your cash flow is pretty steady. Now with serviced accommodation, you will be looking at some form of a fluctuating cash flow. If you imagine a rainy January, February, then it starts getting busier, your bookings are going to be bad then or lower. It's going to get busier during the summer depending on where your property is, but if we say a city, it's going to be busier in the summer and the tourist market will drop off in the winter and it will tail off at the end of the year. So you're looking at a bell curve of income. Now we do concentrate on 2 other markets that are not the holiday tourism leisure market. So people using Pillow do get higher occupancy levels and that income can balance out, but that's stuff we do. These are distribution channels, one person with one property or the average buy-to-let landlord jumping into SA don't have access to, but there are ways to level that income out, but you do need to plan in for some fluctuating income. That fluctuating income could be getting you 4 or 5 times as much as your normal rent in the peak season. You could perhaps even be taking a dip below your normal rent in the off-peak season. Depends on your property, depends on the luxury or the quality of it, and it depends where it is. So fluctuating income is one of the disadvantages. If you have one property and you rely on that property to pay your mortgage every month, and if you can't pay your mortgage, you're going to go into arrears and it's a big massive problem. Serviced accommodation isn't for you. However, if you want to balance a portfolio and you've got some income and you can oversee those little dips, or perhaps a cancelled booking that leads you to 2 weeks empty when you didn't expect it, then serviced accommodation does make a very, very good part of a portfolio. But if it's only one and you're really struggling for cash flow every month, it's definitely not for you. The next one is it's lots of work. There's so many working parts. You're essentially running your own hospitality department here. It's like a hotel or a B&B. You put a tenant in normally under buy-to-let and they could be there for a few years, give or take a few repairs, chasing the rent, make sure the rent's paid. It's nice and easy in comparison to this. This is a business, and it's not a property business, it's a hospitality business. I won't go into all the different things you need to do to run that business, but essentially you are there 24/7. Guests, tenants might have a problem, but if a tenant's boiler breaks, you can get someone out the next day. If there's a problem, you can wait a couple of days because it's someone's home and they'll work around it, but you need to be on call. Guests make a lot of mistakes. There's lots of things from overseas. They can't work key boxes, they don't know how to work heating, things break because they don't get used as much. You need to be on hand 24/7, and there's so many different things you need to have knowledge on and need to be on hand for and have systems and procedures in place. So in comparison to buy-to-let, it's 100 times the work. So you either partner with a successful property management company that takes all that work away from you, but if you're going to do it yourself, you need to be aware that it is a lot of work. Next one is initial expense. You can rent an unfurnished property and give or take your gas safety and electrical safety, there's minimum set-up costs. But with serviced accommodation, you are going to need to kit your property out fully as if it was your own holiday home. Nobody wants to turn up to a holiday home and there isn't cutlery, plates, there's no bedding. You need to kit it out, and that can be, it is thousands and thousands of pounds. So you can do it all yourself, which causes a lot more time and hassle, and very, very time consuming. You can get a furnishing company to totally stage your property. We can give you details for companies that do that, but they can also link the finance. So rather than spending £5 to get your property done, you can simply get that in a finance and pay £100 a month over a few years. That works best for cash flow, but there is always an initial setup cost. You're going to have lots of things to get onboarded here to get your property up and running. And the final point is Buy-to-let is reasonably steady. The laws do change and they come in the favour of the tenant all the time. Landlords' rights are getting eroded and tenants' rights are going up, so it will change, but there is change going to happen in the serviced accommodation market. So things are working very, very well for landlords. Landlords that have switched from buy-to-let with us, we know, are making a lot more money. They're definitely getting 4 times the income. So if you imagine your monthly rent's 500, they're easily going to get £2,000 a month in income. You have some higher costs when it comes to cleaning and stuff, but you're definitely walking away with double the profit you would for a buy-to-let. That's at the moment. So will the government interfere? Yes. Will local authorities interfere? Yes. Do neighbours start to hate it and want to get your property shut down? Perhaps. It depends what you're doing. So if you just jump in from buy-to-let, shoehorn a solution in without knowing the legislation in the future, the changes that are coming, then you are going to have problems. Depends when you watch this video, but when I make this, you've probably got a year. Make this in the end of, I'm in September 2018. You probably get a year before things are starting to be affected here. Now, we have a template, we have a thing to future-proof, as I call it, your business. So we're taking units from buy-to-let to SA that I know are going to work, that are going to be future-proof, that fit the model that we're going to need to see to get legislation in place when regulation comes, that doesn't annoy neighbours. Your SA business will be set up 100% professionally. 90% of people, in fact, 95% of people moving from the buy-to-let sector into serviced accommodation are doing it illegally. They're breaking lots of laws. They're shoehorning solutions in where they shouldn't really be doing it, and it won't last forever. So there are people doing it themselves, and it's all good, but be very, very cautious. This just jumping in, popping an ad in Airbnb and making lots of money, that isn't a sustainable business model, and there's lots of changes coming all over the UK that means your people that are making money just now and getting high occupancy are essentially going to need to shut down overnight. So you need to be aware of the future. You might have a year, might have 2 years if you're lucky, but things will definitely change, and this isn't as such a disadvantage. It's on the disadvantage video, but if you go in, spend the money for the setup, kick tenants out and get your property up and running, and then legislation changes and your property is now illegal and you can't do it, then that's a definite disadvantage. However, any clients we work with, we have different specialists, different people, different consultants, all our team, and we work you through the process. And if it is going to be affected in the future, we will not advise you to take that property on. So this is the disadvantages. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.